I think my relationship with family didn't change because I grew up as a very religious girl. So when I became more religious, I think it was a huge shock. But because my family are very religious, then it didn't change our relationships in any way. With friends, yes, my relationships did change because obviously there were things that as a Muslim I could no longer do, so I wouldn't think about going to pubs or say nightclubs, something that I didn't really do before, but certainly there were places that I couldn't go. And also, I guess, you know, as a single person, then I wouldn't be able to have boyfriends and things like that. So because of that, it made it difficult maybe to have some friendships. But actually, having said that, before I came to Islam, I tended to make the kind of friendships where I wouldn't do those kinds of things anyway. So in actual fact, I do retain good friendships with non-Muslims, but what I would call like-minded friends. It wasn't a difficult decision for me to wear hijab because at the point when I wore hijab, I'd read a lot about it, I read a lot of reasons why it was a good idea to do it. So I was quite solid in my intention in it. I guess I was a bit worried though, even though I felt quite strong in my intention. What would be the reaction? What would be the reaction of my family, friends who were not Muslim, which I had quite a few. And so it was a difficult thing. For instance, my mum said, well, I absolutely understand why you know, you want to follow a religion. I had a hope that you'd come back to Catholicism, but you know, I understand. But why do you have to wear those clothes and wear that scarf? Why do you have to make it such a statement? And I had to explain to her that it wasn't just a statement, but it was, I guess it was a statement as much to myself, like, this is who I am now. So it was more of an internal statement than an external statement, although as an aspect of that, for me, it was quite important to show people that I was Muslim, because how, as a new Muslim, how was I going to meet other Muslims? How would they know I was Muslim? How would I be recognized by them? So that was quite important to me, the social aspect of becoming a Muslim as well. Do I have a role to play as a convert to Islam in the non-Muslim community? I would say definitely, because being a convert to Islam, I'm also seen as someone who's British. So I'm not just seen as a British Muslim, I'm seen as someone who's British. And so yes, there is a role for me to play to explain what really is Islam, you know, from a convert perspective and from an Islamic perspective, as opposed to a heritage Muslim perspective. You know, the idea, what is a Muslim and what is Islam? And I think, I'm not a scholar of any type, but there is a role to be played in that. Well, certainly when I came to Islam, there was a lack of support, I think, particularly for female Muslims. Now it's changing, but what women, particularly I think, more so than men, particularly need are people who take care of their rights. So for instance, I came to Islam, I was very naive. I thought all Muslim men were the same, you know, we are on the same footing. They understand Islam, I understand Islam. So from that perspective, there are no misunderstandings. And then, of course, you realize that from one culture to another, from one person to another, from one school of thought to another, there are different perspectives on marriage. And so if you're not aware of that, if you don't have someone helping you and I guess guiding you through that, then it becomes very difficult to find a marriage partner. I think what will surprise most people from this report is just that there is every type of convert Muslim. So when you say you're a convert Muslim, it implies that we have some kind of commonality. In actual fact, if you read the report, you'll see that we're from every background. So some of us, I came from Catholicism. I was a lapsed Catholic. You have people who are secular. You have people who from different races.